Welcome back, everyone, to our weekly top 10 list with me, Iadarola, and once again, Viviana Vigil. Viviana, welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
I'm very glad to have you here for our top 10 red flags. We've done stuff like this in the past. I just have fun with it. I want to do it like every time. And we were just giving some other red flags in the chat before this, but I'm curious to find out what yours are. What's your number 5?
I'm gonna start off with people who have shock collars on their dogs. I just think they're just horrible people.
You mean like the electric fences, or
no, like the collar? It goes like a little thing on their dog's throat that like gives them a zap when they bark. I think it's
I didn't even know about these.
That exists, sir.
Yeah. I know that like having your dog bark a lot is terrible, but don't shock your dog. Remove its vocal cords.
John, that's on my number 4.
But no, my God, I can't imagine like shocking my dog's throat. I love my dog. I don't want to be shocked.
But yeah.
Oh man. My number 5 is so I have a mix of political and non-political. This one's very much non-political, although it's kind of political. It's people who say, I don't like subtitles. Feels lazy to me. You can't read. And I feel like I don't think it's that they don't like subtitles. I think they don't think they would want to see a movie that's not in English. And this way, I mean, it's not that it's a French movie or a Korean movie. I just don't like subtitles. Like it's either that or it's kind of laziness. I know I'm being judgy. That's the whole point of the list, is I'm being judgy. But like, if you don't watch Squid Game, the subtitles, or you don't see like, I don't know, I really liked Run Lola Run back in the day. Like all these movies that are great, and sure they have subtitles, but you don't even realize after a little bit.
I mean, I don't know that anybody actually likes them, but to refuse to watch a film because
I don't mind it. I like reading.
I don't mind it either, but it's not like, ooh, subtitles. Like I'm not like looking for, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. So maybe that's
kind of similar to my next one actually, but this one's a little bit. It's more people that think they're pretentious because of it. Like they don't think they're pretentious. They are pretentious, even though they're full of it. People that tell me, oh, well, I don't have a TV. I hate those people. I hate those people.
I know.
After you tell them that you have a television career, then they ask you the show you're on and what time it's on and blah, blah, blah. And after you give them all the details that they asked for, and at the end of all of that, they go, oh, well, I don't have a TV. I don't watch TV. I go, well, do you watch Netflix and stuff? Yeah, but I don't have a TV. Do you even know what you're saying? It's TV.
They have an iPad or something. Like exactly. I didn't have cable for a very long time, but I still had a TV. Nobody should ever try to be better than anyone else, basically, and that is what that is a shortcut for. Like, I think it was, the fixer-upper people. I think they haven't had a TV for like 20 years or something. And I just thought, I already was suspicious.
Joanna Gaines?
Joanna Gaines and Chip Gaines. I already was suspicious of them.
They just watched that big giant letter in their house. Like, what are they?
I think I don't know.
Honestly. They're on TV.
They read the word food in their dining room. I guess that's interesting. I don't know. Anyway, exactly. Well, my number 4 is going to be, and this is like one of the most serious ones I have. Anytime you hear anyone say, it's a variety of things, but the point of what they're saying is, so I couldn't be racist. Like the most stereotypical version is, I have a lot of black friends, or I have a lot of whatever friends, or, oh, I dated blank, insert blank people. Like it's all this stuff. It's basically the stuff that like Bill Maher would say, like I'm above suspicion because blank. I hate that stuff. There's like 5 of them. And people don't realize what they're doing, I guess, when they do it. It's so see-through. I just hate that stuff.
Yeah, Bill Maher. I can't be racist. I sexually fetishize black women exclusively.
Exactly. That's number 4, actually, of the 5. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't see color. Okay.
That's number 5. What's your number 3?
Anyone that says I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. I just can't.
What are you talking about?
I'm covered in the blood of Jesus.
Say this?
You've never heard this, John? People say that they don't need the vaccine because they're covered in the blood of Christ.
Oh, yes. There was a woman. Yeah. She like shouted into a car and got filmed. I do remember that.
Jesus.
Like you then wash yourself.
Take a
Wash
shower.
up.
That sounds unhygienic. I mean, the man's been dead for millennia. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, look, I liked midnight mass as much as the next guy, but Jesus. So you've come across a lot of this?
Oh, you must not know any born again Christians, John.
I really don't know many born again Christians. That's actually true.
They say a lot of things that are on my list.
Okay. Oh, geez. My number 3 is thematically very similar. It's I'm not into science fiction or fantasy. I just hate when I hear that. It's kind of like your TV thing. It's like kind of people. First of all, you need to understand, nerdy stuff for a very long time was not popular, and it was considered cool to not like it or whatever. Gradually, I think people have learned that, oh wait, actually this stuff can be kind of fun. For some, it might have been that like Star Wars broke through. For others, it was Lord of the Rings. Or maybe Game of Thrones. Like a lot of people who don't like fantasy discovered, oh wait, I actually kind of do like fantasy when it's done well. And like there's still people who say it, and these are stories. Like mythic tales are fantasy. That's the mythology that we were born on, these like Greek legends and all that. Like, but people still kind of, even after all that we've been through, the Marvel, the MCU and everything, people still love to be against it. It's like, yeah, there's bad fantasy. There's bad sci-fi. You know what else there is? There's bad rom-coms, and there's bad indie films, and there's bad action movies. Like,
and newsflash, those rom-coms are also science fiction.
That's true. In some ways, yes. Anyways, that bothers me. As a person who really likes those things, I hate that it's been so acceptable to just hate it and down on it. Anyway, small thing. What's your number 2?
I usually try to avoid people that say I don't eat carbs. Because I just feel like, well, let's talk about your eating disorder at another time. It's a little extreme. Unless you're gluten intolerant, but that's like on the list too, like unless you really have celiac disease.
LA is full of a lot of people that can't eat gluten that can totally eat gluten. Yeah. I've known some people, you don't have that. You just don't. You don't want to. I am a little bit offended about the carb thing because clearly I don't eat carbs and haven't for years. So I think it's a bit offensive of you to say that, knowing that it might affect me in this way.
Just a red flag for me, John. It's a red flag.
You've got the food ones. I like it. So my second one, this is my last really serious one, and I've talked about it on the show. It's anyone who says something like, "Oh, I'm a moderate. I'm an independent. I'm a centrist. Oh, well, aren't you delightful?
Right.
You're so special. I'm just a dogmatic a-hole, but you think freely." Right. And they're not. It means several different things, and all of them are perfectly fine. Some people say that, and it just means they don't really pay attention to politics, which is fine. You don't have to or whatever. Some people haven't thought about it that well, but a lot of people just want to seem like, well, of Republicans, Democrats, I'm something else. Now, you don't have to like those parties. I don't like the parties, but don't imply that your value system is just this random mishmash. That's not how values work. They can be traced back to core foundational things. You're not that special. Like it's not to say that there are none, but when it's a politician who says it, they're just corrupt. That's all it means. They support the corporate status quo. That's it. And for regular people, there's this mythology that's unearned. It doesn't make them bad people, but they need to understand what they actually are in a moderate.
I actually even further, and maybe you and I disagree on this one, but and it's harsh, I guess. But I feel like if you say you don't care about politics, that's a big privilege that you have.
Red flag. Yeah, that is definitely a red flag. Sure, I get it, but I judge lots of things I get. So I agree, that could be a good one, maybe on the next list. But that only leaves number 1. What's your number 1?
My number 1, and it's a political one, using the term illegals or an illegal. That's for me, that is a blaring firework red flag, and the conversation will end if I don't chew them out. If it's not worth chewing them out, then I don't need to know you.
Yeah, that is a good one. I didn't put it on my list, so I'm not gonna say it, but there's a similar thing that I have one friend who says a thing.
Say it. What is it?
No, I gotta save it for the next list. I gotta save it. I can't. It's not on the list.
What?
My number 1 though. This to me just says a lot. And yes, this is gonna be shots fired at J.R. Jackson, but when you say, I don't like dogs, what What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
What has happened to you? If you were bit by a dog when you were young and it's traumatized you, that's fine. I still think the onus is on you to go to dog socialization therapy and get over it because you're missing out on a big part of life. But people who hate dogs, man, dogs are just joy. They're just delight. That's what they are. They're the best emotional support. I love my dogs and I want more. That's all. That's my number one.
I love dogs too. I didn't know that about Mr. Jackson.
He actually, I think, likes dogs more than he says, but he likes to say that he doesn't like dogs. And by the way, if you like cats, that's fine. I think you could like both. I like both, but
I like both.
Yeah, you should like something, and those are the two things you can choose from. Anyway, those are our top 10 red flags. What are some for you? And it could be a lot of different stuff. Like we did some political ones. I think the food ones are perfectly good. Sophie's traffic related ones. I'm gonna do a list of 10 of that next week, I think. Because I get so irrationally mad when I'm on the road at the things people do. Not that like I'm being delayed or whatever. It's people showing that they are not a part of the solution. They're part of the problem.
They are.
Anyway, we'll talk.
Those are the people that cause traffic. I hate it.
They do. Yeah. Well, thank you once again, Viviana. I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, John. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
And for those of you at home, thank you for being a tier 2 or tier 3 member, making this available. We hope you enjoy it. Feel free to post ideas for top 10 lists in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.